Beautiful. All right. On that note, let's chant. So thank you so much, everyone. This is, I think Zahir had said yesterday, and I saw it at the end of the day, happy Navaratri. That began yesterday, I believe. It goes on for 9 nights. It is a celebration of the different avatars or incarnations of Durga, of the Great Mother. Unfortunately, we're not singing to Durga today. That is not going to be the mantra that we will be doing today. However, if you feel like exploring that, it's yeah, she's a badass. I love Durga. Look into her. She's great. But we are going to sing to Ganesh today. And the reason why is this. Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. Ganesh is revered and adored for his ability to remove obstacles, to clear the path, to allow for greater ease. And for anyone that this exploration or concept is very new or even potentially triggering, in Hindu mythology, all of these different characters, and it can be overwhelming because there are a lot. And then they all have different incarnations and avatars and lives and all of that. These are actually believed to be different facets of the same divine. It's like different faces of the one, or different archetypes of one overlooming presence. So I just want to put that out there because it's a common misunderstanding with Hinduism, which of course to honor the practice of yoga, it does have its roots there. There really is honor to one ultimate divinity. I'm blanking on the word. It's commonly misunderstood to be a polytheistic. I feel like I always say that word wrong. Polytheistic belief system, and actually there is belief in one ultimate divine, which is Brahma, or whatever God, divine, universe, nature, however you want to call it. So Ganesha, when we're chanting to Ganesha, he is the facet or the aspect of the divine that comes in and says, you know what? Things seem a little murky for you right now. It looks like it's a little bit of a struggle. Let me just move these branches out of the path that seem to be tripping you up a little bit. The light's on the other side of the tunnel over there. That's Ganesha. And so I want to honor Ganesha today because as the intention of our time together being to learn and practice tools to create optimal health, holistic health in all layers. You know, my ultimate hope and wish and prayer for all of you is that your path may be clear, and that if and when you do encounter obstacles, that those obstacles may provide you fertile ground for learning vital lessons, and that they may be quickly cleared for you on your journey forward. So we are going to sing to Ganesha. I'm going to go over, I'll show you the words of the mantra. What else did I want to say on that? Oh, I had said, and I believe it was in the packet, that we were going to practice japa mala, which is with the mala beads. We're actually not going to do that because it requires 108 repetitions. And I really want to give you all time for your Abhyanga. I want to have time for integration and last little bit of journaling and stuff. So we're not going to do 108 rounds, but if you like the mantra, you can certainly practice that at home with your mala beads. So we'll just do some chanting together. Let me see here. I'm gonna. Oh, I think I don't have just a moment. I didn't have the file open that I thought I did. Okay, here it is. So it's, some of you may be familiar with this one. It's not super complicated. If you want, you can write it down. It's a mantra for Ganesha. So Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om, of course, wow, that's like a whole lecture and a whole course within itself. But you know, at the seed of it, it's like the universal sound. It's the sound of creation. It encompasses within it like all forms of consciousness. Om. Gam is the bija mantra or the seed sound. It's like the most vital energy of Ganesha. So Gam, anytime you see that one syllable mantra or word, it's representing Ganesha. Ganapataye is an alternative name for Ganesha. So that's why working with these, this mythology can get complex, because then not only do they have different avatars, but then they like also have multiple names. So Ganapataye, because he was the lord or the king of the Ganas. The Ganas are like the common people. He was like the most beloved of the common people, the householders. And Namaha is like, I salute you. I revere you. I salute to you. Like, hey Ganesha, I see you. I'm honoring you. Om, like I revere you. And then Ganesha, of course, his other name. And then Sharanam is another way of saying like, I revere you. I revere you. So if any of this, you know, doesn't fit, yoga and Ayurveda do not ask us to change our belief systems ever. So remember, anything can be a poison or a medicine. So if you are looking at this right now and you're like, this tastes a little bit like poison for me because of my belief systems, you can either, you know, sit and receive it without chanting yourself. You can try it on. You can even, if you feel like it's better medicine for you, you can even shut the audio off for a couple minutes and rejoin us for the Abhyanga. I really trust that you will all do what is best for your practice. So what we're going to do, I'm going to back up in a moment, and I really have no idea how this is going to go. I don't normally do the harmonium on a microphone and on a video. So I'm going to like leave the microphone kind of far away. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear my voice over. So I'm going to start playing and chanting, and we'll do several rounds, like at least 5 minutes. And as you hear the tune, you'll start to be able to sink into it. You can stay seated as long as you're comfortable. You can move your body in any way. Like a lot of people, when they practice mantra, feel called to like make some sort of a movement or a circle. Just make sure you're comfortable. Once you have the mantra down, if it feels okay for you in the space you're in, you can also close your eyes right down and really let that vibration blanket over you. And you don't have to think. Please don't think as it's happening. One of the beautiful things about mantra as a tool, as a type of meditation for health and balance, is that it's almost impossible to think. It's almost impossible to be in busy mind when you're chanting mantra. Specifically as a tool, this is really good for kapha, because they want to cultivate the udana, that up and outward moving wind. They want to work to expand and express and move upward. Like their gaze, they want their gaze up, they want their heart up, they want to lift their voice up. So this is going to be really good for kapha. And because of the mental effect of like not being able to think of anything else when you're doing mantra, that's going to be very settling for vata, particularly if they're in more of a rajasic mind state. Just to layer on what we've been working with the Ayurveda, with the doshas. So it's going to be Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha 4 times. And then we'll do Ganesha Sharanam. So let's do a call and response just a few times through. And then I'm actually going to take the slide off because I'm going to back up and I want to make sure like I can still see what's going on. So I'm still in the frame for all of you. So if you feel like you're going to want to read it, I recommend that you write down those 2 lines. Okay, so let's quickly do call and response. So it's Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And then Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. So when we actually move into the chant, the second line will only be repeated twice and the first line will be repeated 4 times. I just wanted to do a couple more rounds of call and response so that you get accustomed to it. All right, so you ready? I'm gonna close out of our slide here. Does anyone need another minute or moment to write? We good? Okay. All right, hopefully I won't blast your ears because a harmonium's pretty loud. So I'm moving the microphone a little bit further away. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. We're gonna start nice and slow. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Let's start to pick up the pace. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Second round. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. That part again. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Last round. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Ganesha Namah Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. Ganesha Sharanam. You can continue to sit silently and receive the vibration, the impact, the effect of that mantra in your system. I encourage you to observe any of the gunas, any of the qualities that might arise. Or maybe you even notice there's a silent repetition, a silent vibration still happening within your system. Notice and scan without judgment, without searching. And then as you're ready, you can take some sort of gesture of completion that feels appropriate for you, perhaps hands at your heart or to the earth. If you feel like you need something more grounding, or even palms open if you feel like you need something more uplifting, like a lotus or a Padma mudra. Send yourself in deep loving kindness and well wishes. Thank yourself so deeply for all of the obstacles that you have already overcome. So what's super tricky about Ganesha is that he is the one that we call on to come in and remove obstacles and clear the path toward greater health and wellness, toward remembered wholeness. And he is also the trickster that often puts the obstacles there so that we may glean the richness of the deep lessons that our obstacles offer us. So thank yourself deeply for all that you have and that you continue to overcome on this challenging path of wellness, of remembered wholeness. Thank you so much for chanting with me. You can take a drink of water if you need to. Some of you might feel like you need to like move around a little bit or like discharge some energy a bit. And then make sure you have your space ready and really nice and comfortable for your Abhyanga. We're gonna move right into, so now that we've got you like, we've got your mind a little bit still from the mantra, we're gonna go right into a treat for your body, for your physical form. So have your oil nearby. If you need to remove or set off to the side any jewelry, please do that. Also, if you are in a little bit of a colder place or space, and you know that you'll want extra layers and blankets and something a little extra comfy and cozy for the clothes, after the Abhyanga, you will have some time to rest in Shavasana and really absorb the effects or the impact of that Abhyanga and the oil. So just one thing I wanted to add that I hadn't given as an option in case, because I know that some of you out there are already working with some of these things or many of these things. So if I have any predominant kaphas out there and you happen to already have and be working with a dry brush or like herbal powders rather than oils, just know that you absolutely have the option to grab that as well. So those are going to be some good alternative options for the kaphas rather than slicking up and getting more oily, especially if there's not like a spicier or an herbal oil blend available. You can also do the dry brushing or use herbal powders too. And I don't know if you can see him on the screen if I'm too far away, but we have Ganesha. Ganesha is now there sitting beside Buddha. He was accompanying us for our chanting. All right, so as we move through this, I'm going to give you several options, but I think what's most important is, as we've been working with all weekend, is really just listen in to what your body best needs. Like for example, right now, normally I would like a good, nice and oily Abhyanga, but I feel pretty like slimy and sticky because of the atmosphere today. So I'm gonna go a little lighter on oil than I normally would. If you're feeling really cold and dry, you can go a little heavier on the oil than you may normally, especially if you're a Vata type. So again, I'm going to give some suggestions by dosha just in the case that you already know what your constitution is. And if you don't know, you can really go intuitively. The only real contraindications for Abhyanga or really any type of massage that you would want to look into or talk to a specialist is pregnancy, unless it's really approved by your OBGYN, any sort of skin infection or rash or sores or cut. Of course, you wouldn't want to contribute to infection or spread any inflammatory thing if it's spreadable. And then cold, flu, and certainly fever. You just would want to check in with your doc before you start doing messing with your circulation and your lymph system. Okay, so if you know that you're kapha constitution, you can start around the belly. I'm going to guide it as how is best for Vata, because that's who I am. So Vatas are going to start from the feet and work their way up to the head. Pitta can start toward the head, like with some scalp massage. You can, even if you have dry hair, you can certainly even use oil in your hair. Some people like to really, get right in there with the oil. So if you know that's good for your hair and scalp, then you can go for that. So Pitta from the head down toward the feet. For Vata, we're going to work from the feet upward toward the head. And then Kapha, if you'd like to, you can start from the belly toward the feet and then end in like the heart and head in the upper body. So those are just suggestions, or you can follow along with what I'm doing. And I promise you're not going to get, too out of whack elementally, as long as you're moving in the proper way for you. So for Vata, you're going to want to do really long, you can get some oil, of course, do really long and slow movement, and with like a little bit of pressure. There can be like a little bit of firmness. You don't want to be rough, right? We don't want rough or agitating or fast or too mobile movements. For Pitta, it can be a little more rhythmic. It can be a little firm, but like overall you want it to be gentle and soothing. You don't want them to get too hyped up. And then Kapha can be like really deep, really firm. It can be more invigorating, more awakening. It could even be a little bit faster, so long as it's not going to agitate or spike the Vata or spike their mind. But Kapha can usually handle that, like something a little bit more energetic or vigorous. So get as you feel like, especially those that are getting into colder seasons and like and starting to feel the dryness, definitely get more oil as you need. And so Vata, legs, and don't forget the feet. If you're working toward the head and the neck and the scalp to start, like the Pitta, again, same information. So it's like, can be like a little bit more firm, can be like a little more rhythmic. And then same with Kapha. If you happen to be starting on the belly, you can really go for it as far as having it be like rigorous and firm. Of course, you're not poking or prodding into organs, though. Really, don't be afraid to get in there with some pressure on yourself. Once you feel like you have one area like adequately oily, so that's going to be different for each person, a little or a lot, depending on what you need, or if you're using a powder or a dry brush, if you feel like you've, sufficiently kind of sloughed off what might be there, then move to the next area. And it's really nice, the Abhyanga is really nice because you can incorporate your other techniques. So one thing I like to do is while I'm doing Abhyanga, and as I said, I normally do mine at night, even though, traditionally the recommendation is in the morning. I'll even do it with my little one, with my son, because it helps, it gets him settled, a nice oily massage at the end of the day. You can layer on your other tools for wellness. So as I'm doing Abhyanga, I often like to cycle through like a metta meditation and send loving kindness. And then I end with myself. And I really visualize that everywhere I'm making contact, I'm really sending loving kindness to my body, to this body that is carrying me through my whole life experience. We're not always, or some of us are not often super kind to or super thoughtful of our bodies. So this is like a really nice time and gesture to really say thank you. Like everywhere you're making contact, thank you feet for carrying me. Thank you to this part or that part that I may have been judgmental about. Thank you to my organs. Thank you to my digestion. Thank you to my muscles. Vata as well, you can really focus on the joints. You can get really like circular around the joints, knees and ankles to create heat there. So creating a little bit of heat is good for Vata as long as it's not, like I said, like as long as it's not really rough or erratic. So it can be steady. Kapha can also create heat, but you don't necessarily need to focus on the joints. You can create heat by being like firm with your touch, okay? So Vata's warming. Kapha can also warm the whole body. If you're moving from the feet upward, you can move either toward your belly or toward your hands and arms. If you're moving from your head and chest downward, if you haven't already moved to your arms, or if you have already moved toward belly or towards your legs, and all the same indications are going to hold true on each part of your body. So kapha, deep, firm, rigorous with your touch. Pitta, gentle. You can be gentle, but also firm. What I mean by that is you're not poking or prodding, but Pitta's going to want to feel that there's a little something going on. Focus for Pitta, focus on the muscles, like really get into that tissue of the muscles, particularly any sore areas, like really give it a little bit of oomph on those sore areas. Whereas Kapha might work more on like building the heat, adding to circulation, the adipose tissue. So it's like not quite as deep as what a Pitta might like. And then the Vata is going to be the focus on the joints. So if working on joints and upper body, make sure to get the wrists, the elbows, and even all the knuckles, all the joints of each finger. And then in remembering the gunas that we've worked with, think about what I was saying is like the afterglow with the practice, with the yoga practice. You'd want the same thing with Abhyanga. So when a Pitta is finished with their Abhyanga, ideally you want them to feel soothed and calm, not fiery or explosive, right? Or sharp. When a Vata is finished with their Abhyanga, you want them to feel nourished and warm and also calm. When a Kapha is finished with either Abhyanga or dry brush, you want them to feel warm and light. Make sure you really spend some time and get into your hands, the spaces between each bone, each knuckle. Remember, you can send yourself in that like loving kindness, metta. You can thank your body, send yourself simple gratitude. This is a good spot as well to incorporate mindfulness. So we talked about that with the meditation. Not everybody is super into traditional meditation of like sitting and, moving through a focused mental practice or looking for more flow state. So mindfulness might be more the type of meditation for you. Abhyanga is a great spot to practice mindfulness. So you can like literally say to yourself, as you're moving through the Abhyanga, like right now I'm putting oil on my hand. Right now I'm, doing really long and light strokes to settle and ground my leg. Like really just go through a dialogue of exactly what you're presently doing to stay really focused on. This is like time for you and your body. If you're able to, depending on what your wardrobe situation is, get in towards your shoulders, your upper arms, and toward the back if you can, particularly upper back. That's like the back side of your energetic heart. Your chest, the fronts of your shoulders. If you skipped over it, particularly Pitta is working from the head downward. If you skipped over it, or if you're working from down up, make sure you get into your neck. You can hold a lot of tension in the neck, particularly after a whole weekend being online and looking at a computer screen and being in a chair. Not everyone loves to have oil slathered on their face, but if that does feel okay for you, definitely get in and around those sense organs that are just constantly taking in information all day long. You can kind of dry or pat your hands off as well. I'm not a huge fan of slathering oil on my face, but I definitely want to send some love and good intention to the sense organs, in and around the nose, in and around the eyes, the ears, particularly for those vatas. If you haven't had a chance to yet, as so long as wardrobe willing, it's available. Make sure you get to onto your belly. So I'm going to wrap up here now from seated. It can be warming for your organs. And you can go for like a little bit of pressure, a decent amount of pressure there, so long as you don't have any like inflammation or bloating that feels painful or sharp going on. A little bit of visceral massage. You have tons of fascia here, like all around, surrounding each and every organ. And if you began at the belly, just carry on with the next part of the body. If you're getting into the belly, you might also use this as an opportunity to get toward low back and kidneys. Take a final few moments here to get into any last area that you feel needs a little bit of a last moment of attention, of awareness. Send yourself in those well wishes that you might send to your most beloved, to your neighbors, to your closest friends, to those in your community. All those well wishes you would send outward. This is your time to really send those right within. And how many times do we have to hear it, that you yourself are deserving, as deserving of your loving kindness? As some of you may be wrapping up, Your only next task, I skipped over guiding the scalp, so if you didn't get there, make sure to get some loving into the scalp, especially the vatas. If you have a tendency to have a little drier hair, drier scalp, give yourself a little bit of love there. And for those of you that are starting to wrap up, get yourself settled in and guided down for the most comfortable possible Shavasana. So you may want to find your bolster. Be mindful. I say this because it's happened to me before. Be mindful about where your oil bottle is. Especially if it's like a fully open top, be mindful about where it is so you don't, in your deep relaxation, knock it over. Please grab what you need to be both comfortable and also to be warm. So again, depending where on planet Earth you are, maybe wrap yourself in a blanket or two. If you feel like it would help you settle, you can grab for your blocks. You can get an extra blanket on top, or of course, if anyone's working with those weighted mats or weighted blankets, if that will help you feel really settled, get as comfortable as you possibly can imagine being, and then settle in. So we want to leave some time and space for this oil, and not just the oil, but all the well wishes and all the loving kindness and everything we just sent into our own system. We want to give some time for that to work its magic. I'm only coming to a seat because I'll be guiding you through a body scan as you rest here. So you can stay down towards Shavasana. So the deepest, most nurturing Shavasana, deepest, most nurturing comfort that you can find. If you have not already found yourself naturally there, allow your eyes to mindfully close. Or if you prefer that they remain open, make sure that your gaze stays soft. Take a few long and slow and deep breaths. Breathing in fully and exhaling slowly. Breathe in through your nose and then out through your nose or through your mouth. Feel your belly expand on your inhale and relax it as you exhale. Begin to let go of any noises or any sensory stimulation that may be happening around you. You can shift your attention from the outside toward the inside of your experience. If you feel distracted at all, simply notice that. Notice the feeling of distraction. Observe it. And then draw your focus back to the movement of your breath. Bring your awareness down to your feet, as if your breath is traveling through your nose to the lungs and through the abdomen, all the way down to your feet, and then back up again and out through your nose and lungs, through the abdomen. If you're unable to tap into that sensation or feeling, that's also okay. You can allow that. Allow yourself to feel the sensation of not feeling much. When you are ready, you can allow your feet to dissolve in your mind's eye and move your attention now up towards your ankles, calves, knees, and thighs. Observe the sensations you're experiencing throughout your legs. Breathe into and out of the legs. And again, if your mind begins to wander during this practice, gently notice without judgment that your mind is wandering and bring it back to noticing the sensation in your legs. If you notice anything like discomfort or pain or stiffness in any of the areas, try not to judge your body, but simply notice and maybe even direct gratitude. Observe how all sensations that we experience in all layers and all forms of the self, they rise and fall. They shift and they change from moment to moment. Notice how no sensation is a permanent sensation. Just observe and allow the sensations to be in the moment just as they are. Breathe into and out of your legs. Then on your next breath, allow your legs to dissolve in your mind and move your awareness, your observation of sensations into your lower back and pelvis and your hips. Soften and release as you breathe in and out. And slowly move your attention to the mid back and your upper back. Become curious about the sensations that you find there. You may become aware of sensations in the muscle, in your temperature, or in the spaces where you have points of contact with the mat, the earth, or any furniture beneath you. With each out-breath, visualize yourself releasing sensation that is held as tension from your body. And now very gently shift your focus towards your belly and all of the organs housed there in your soft belly and beneath your ribs. Perhaps you notice the feeling of clothing or the process or any sounds or movements of digestion around your belly. You might notice your belly rising and falling with your breath. Notice as well if any opinions are rising and falling about your belly or your organs. Gently let those go and return to noticing sensation. As you continue to breathe, bring awareness now to your chest and heart. See if you can notice or tune in to your heartbeat. Observe how your chest rises with an inhale and how it falls during the exhale. Let go of any judgments that may arise. With your next exhale, dissolving that observation and shift your focus now to your hands and your fingertips. See if you can channel your breathing into and out of the area of your hands and your fingertips, as if you were breathing from your hands. If your mind wanders, draw yourself back to the observation of sensations as they come and go. You may notice some difference between what you observe in the left arm and left hand, or the right arm and right hand, as you bring your awareness now to encompass your entire arm on both sides. You may notice areas of intense sensation and other areas where there is very little or no sensation at all. Allow your mind to stay in the observation. Continue to breathe and now shift focus upward towards your neck. Your shoulders, your throat, your jaw. These are areas where we often have or where we often hold or pack tension. So be with any and all sensations that you find here, particularly if it's any sort of sensation of holding or contraction. See if you can invite in a softening with each exhale, even if that softening is subtle. Visualize tension rolling off of your skin, rolling off of your shoulders. And then as you exhale, dissolve that visualization and shift your focus toward your scalp and your head and your whole face and all of your sense organs. Notice the movement of the air in and out of your nostrils or your mouth. As you exhale, you may notice a continued softening somewhere within your experience. Slide your awareness now from the very top of your head down to the very bottom of your toes, your whole body. And feel the gentle rhythm of the breath as it moves through your body. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath as it moves through your entire body. Now you can begin to deepen the movement of your breath so that it offers you something that is gently more awakening and enlivening. Start to drop your attention and awareness back toward the present moment if it has wandered anywhere else than here and now. Take in your entire present moment. Begin to expand your awareness by noticing any sensory experience. Tune into any sounds within your space or beyond your space. Tune into any smells And as you're ready, you can slowly open the windows of your eyes and tune in to any sights and colors that you notice around you. Energize your breath in order to come back into a place of alertness and awake, aware, alert, alive. You can wiggle fingers or toes. You can give yourself a hug or squeeze. If you're all the way down onto the earth, you can take a roll over onto your favorite side and find a couple breaths. And then go ahead and press yourself up toward a final seat. And you can take all the time you need. In fact, if you simply feel what you really need is to stay down and grounded and on the earth for another few moments, please honor that. We are going to take a very brief break for anyone that really feels like they need to get some water, use the restroom really quick, or get another layer so that you ensure that you're really nice and warm. Please find that. I'm going to make a very quick adjustment in my position and the lighting so I can be a little bit closer to all of you as we come to close our session today. And make sure after the 5-minute break that you have your journal, your gratitude journal or your notebook with you. So we will be back at 5:35. Take those extra 5 minutes lying in meditation and Shavasana if you'd like. So 5:35, I'll see you all right back here.